Hi everyone, my name is Kate Johnson. I'm a virtual bookkeeper and I also run the Bookkeeping Side Hustle blog and the Bookkeeping Side Hustle Facebook group, one of the best Facebook groups in all of Facebook. I'm excited to bring you this short introduction to describe a course I'm excited to put out called Extremely Simple Bookkeeping Business Website. In this introduction, I want to hit a couple of things so you can make the decision about whether this course is for you. We're going to talk about whether you even need a website and should you be the one to build it. I'm also going to give my thoughts on who this course is for and who this course is not for. And then lastly, I'm going to talk about how much time I think this course will take you to complete. So first you might be asking, do you even need a website and should you be the one to build it? Those are fair questions. Some might say no, that you don't, especially if you want to stay small. And I can tell you that, even after 3 years, I have deliberately kept my bookkeeping business on the smaller side, but that I have not regretted for 1 second having built my own website. I built my own website after about 18 months of being in business, and I found that I just really became a different person once I was able to say, oh yeah, go check out my website to a potential client. So I think over half the battle of entrepreneurship is, in your head and learning how to hold your head high and speak with confidence. And once I built my very simple website for my business, I just gained a whole lot of confidence. And am I glad that I did it myself? Well, I'm really glad that I did it myself for a couple of reasons. I really like that I am able to make changes to my website on my own without having to hire someone. Quick example, I was a QuickBooks Pro advisor for a while in my business, but then I obtained the advanced certification and I wanted to update that badge on my website, and I was able to do that. Every once in a while, I'm able to come up with the blog idea and I'm able to add that content on my own. If I were ever to pay someone to build a logo for me, I could get that pretty inexpensively and then make the changes to the website myself. So I'm glad that I have the skills, even though it was sort of a painful process learning how to build my own website. The other reason is, it helps me keep the cost down. And I think, my approach to building my business was definitely like a bootstrap kind of build as you go, sort of fund anything I do with my earnings. So I'm glad that I was able to keep those costs down. I think if you have strong social and business skills, your website is not going to be what closes any deal. If you maybe lack on those business and social skills and you need that very slick marketing aspect, then you might want to hire someone. This is going to be sort of very simple, but I don't think that a website is what's closing any deals. It's going to be you as a person networking with those potential clients. And when you have a website and you can say, check out my website, they're just going to use it, I kind of call it a smell test. Like, is this person legit? Do they seem to have a legitimate business? Can I read a little bit more about them to see what their background is and, how they work, what kind of businesses they serve? And that's what my own website does. It allows people to figure out how to contact me, and then I'm able to talk to them person to person rather than just trying to have my website do the selling for me. So who's this course for? It's for people who are interested in having a very simple sort of business card website is what I call it. It's like a digital business card, and it's going to be very, very specific. This is not going to teach you theory about building a website. It's going to teach you how to build a very specific website. It's going to be built in WordPress. It's going to use the Astra theme, and it's going to use a page builder called Elementor. And it's going to be hosted on Bluehost. That's the last part about being hosted on Bluehost is not required, but if you want to follow my exact steps, that's what I tell you to do. Now, why am I telling you all this? Because all those elements are exactly what I've done for my own business. Yeah, and it's for people who want to be able to make those edits themselves. So as you are thinking about your business and envisioning what it's going to look like over the next year or two, if you see yourself, needing to make any tweaks, I think learning to build it yourself is a great idea. It's also for folks who have about $100 to spend on hosting and a domain. That's about what it costs for about a year, or about $140 for about 3 years of domain hosting and purchasing your domain. I bought the 3-year plan whenever I bought mine because it's obviously much cheaper if you buy bulk years like that. It's also for people who, the course is for people who want an instructor who speaks from personal experience. The example site that you're going to see me build is exactly like my own personal bookkeeping business site. And I will show you now kind of what this website is going to look like. I made up this dummy site, Red Hot for Numbers, and it's simple. It's, I think, handsome and gets the point across. And obviously you're going to, tailor it to your own needs, but it's going to look very similar to this. It's also for someone who wants a little bit of support. I'm not a web developer. I'm not able to give a lot of support, but you will be invited to be part of a private Facebook group, and I will go live once a month to answer any questions and provide some support. And then I'll also be active in the group, but the group will allow you all also to help each other get tips from people who are trying to do this exact specific thing. Who is this course not for? So it's not for people who want a very complex website. If you want to have a fancy client portal where they get onboarded, this isn't for you. If you're really, really worried about SEO, search engine optimization, this is not for you. Those are not things that I have personally worried about on my site, and so I don't have a strong expertise in them, so I'm not going to try to teach it. It's not for someone who thinks that buying this course they're going to get access to a very experienced web developer. I am not that. I have just clawed my way into building my own site, and I'm wanting to provide value to the folks in the bookkeeping side hustle ecosystem, and so I created this. I saw that there was a need for a little simple business card website, and I wanted to teach you so you can learn from some of my mistakes. And it's also not for people who need help writing content. You're going to have to write words about what you offer, your services. You're going to have to be able to talk intelligently about what virtual bookkeeping is and does and what you do. So if you need a writer, you're not going to enjoy this course. I'm going to guide you about what specific sections you need to write about, but in terms of the actual words, you'll have to do that on your own. I also would like to just share a disclaimer right now. I use Bluehost for my own hosting, and there will be a link to a Bluehost to sign up via my affiliate link, and I'm not going to be shy about that. Every once in a while, getting a sale through my affiliate link from some of y'all students is what helps keep the cost of this course very low. So I hope y'all can appreciate that, and if you are interested, you'll be able to use that link to help support me. How much time will it take to complete this course? I think the course should be completed in 3 separate chunks, and some of them I'm not going to be able to tell you how long it's going to take. So the first chunk is the creative stuff, and there's going to be a section of the course that's going to walk you through things like, you have to choose a business name, you have to search for a domain name that's available, you are going to have to write the content of your pages, like the actual words. You're going to need to pick a color scheme, a font scheme. I'm going to give you some resources about how to do that, and some people are going to be able to do it in 5 minutes. They're going to look at the resources I've given y'all and say, yep, I like these colors, I like these fonts, and go. And then some of y'all are going to spend forever on it. So I don't know which category you fall in. It's not something that you need to spend a lot of time on. I think very few people are going to read all the words on your website at all and care about their colors. But that's one chunk, and I think it should be done before you start to build your website. Then I instruct you to start building your website, and this is where I would try hardest to block off the time that you need to do it as quickly as possible. If you can do the design work, or the building work like on a Saturday morning, maybe in the evening over the course of like 3 to 4 nights, something like that, that would be preferable. If you do a couple hours one week and then a couple hours 2 weeks later, I think it's going to be harder for you to kind of remember where you left off, to get some momentum about, kind of finishing the site. So I think you should, block off a chunk of time if at all possible. And then the last section I called, there's some extra administrative tasks. I think that is a third section that you can wait on. Some of them are pretty painful and tedious, like making sure your contact form is actually communicating with your email address, that sort of thing. But none of those are super crucial to the actual like building. So you can do that potentially later. But I don't know exactly how long it'll take you, but I do suggest tackling it in 3 separate chunks. So that's the introduction to this course. If you find it compelling, I'd love to have you purchase and be a part of, getting me and the community around this course to help you just take this next step in building your awesome virtual bookkeeping business.